steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Let me make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam show for Friday, March the 21st. We're getting ready for more NCAA first round action. We're halfway through the first round after yesterday's games. We've got 16 more games for you today. I'll preview the first 8 of them here. We'll have Mikey Money along a little later today with more previews, and you can catch me on YouTube picking some other games later on as well. I'll try to get as many picks as I can to you today, but we'll also preview big NBA card. Sans one game we'll throw out. We got one game on the ice tonight. Also, I'll have a few picks in the NCAA women's tournament. Today we scored one yesterday on the show. Hopefully you caught us yesterday with our Thursday night live stream with the NCAA tournament. We had a great crew last night. We were on for 5 hours plus, I think, there yesterday, going through all those late games. We had a really great time with some really great games. Really bummer for my UC San Diego Tritons. And not only that, they didn't get the money. There's Michigan in the total public versus Sharps game there. It felt like Michigan gets the win, gets the money, and UCSD, all they get to do is go home. Hopefully, look, you might have considered, hey, a few upsets there yesterday. If you bet the money line on every underdog, you were pretty much a loser yesterday. And, well, maybe that's why my bracket is in the 98.8 percentile over on ESPN. Mr. Chalk here, certainly. I went over it there yesterday on the show and explained with you guys and with Mikey and the crew that I didn't think you had to leave that chart to find the national championship, the one that indicated the top 20 offenses on KenPom, the top 30 defenses on KenPom over the last 25 years, basically results in 93.5% of the national champions. So I think you got that list of 8 teams, and you don't have to go any further than that to find the national champion. I respect and appreciate everyone who, wants to try to pick some upsets. Like I said, the strategy should have been that, you pick your upsets, you just whatever they are. I'm not going to sit here and point out anything that looks like an upset or might be an upset. Yeah, we'll have our picks, but I'm just talking about bracket wise. Dot your upsets in the teams that are basically, maybe seeds, 5 through 16 or whatever, or maybe you probably should look beyond that and say 9 through 16 or whatever, and then just still stick with those top ones and twos and threes and some fours. Remember, the twos have kind of struggled a little bit, and the fives don't do that well. Obviously, we saw them go down one yesterday. So let's talk about those games, and let me say hello to everyone. We'll be here. Not really a long show. We're going to go 8 games in NCAA. I'll be with you later on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel at 5 Eastern and 2 Pacific. I'll talk about a few more games there. Mikey Money comes in here on the Sports Money Network at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. He'll have more nighttime action, and then I'll have some other ways that you can get in touch with me and follow some more picks for tonight. I hope I can keep it up with some of those picks. At least my bracket looks pretty decent compared to I say I have a 98.8% bracket. And I also want to shout out a couple of other members there. I don't know if they're joining us. They're not, I don't want to call them lurkers. They're just not major commentators, or maybe they are and they just have different names. But I want to shout out Algus, LV, and ZC33 Zach. For having the same pool there. I can't get as many points as they can, but still, we're all 3 of us in the 98.8 percentile. Now, that sounds pretty awesome until you look at I'm currently in 311,000th place in the ESPN brackets, but still pretty good numbers there. And we did have some nice winners yesterday, I thought, despite just a 5-4 record in my sports money premiums, because we kind of tailed off near the end. But certainly want to run down some of the winners yesterday and some of the big games and moments from the NCAA tournament's opening night yesterday. And we're just 2.5 hours away here, really, from more action today, all day. It should be pretty awesome, but certainly some great games yesterday. We did have some winners here on the Sports Money Network and the Morning Steam Show, and I'll shout out everyone who helped me along to get some winners. Let's say hello to the first of the group coming in. Hello to Joe today. He's here. He opened the doors first. Thank you to Joe. And Joe's got his polls up in the Sports Money YouTube posts tab on YouTube, where you can see how our community is playing the games today and get their opinions and match them up here. Should probably try to incorporate that in the show somehow. It's probably getting too late for that, and we've got to do it. But we also have our Team Steam consensus. Hello to Joe W. as well. Hey, Donahue. Hello. Nice to see you. Mr. Roadrunner, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in this morning. Hey, this is my right-hand man, my Ed McMahon. He's Thomas Lewis. He's got full of quips and picks as well. And he helps us get the chat room consensus together every day. So thank you always to Thomas. Johnny Walker, yeah, they're prepping for a big Saturday, so everybody gets kind of the day off. We have thank you for mentioning it, Johnny, because we have one game on the ice tonight. Hey, one Steam move in. Let's get it going here right now. This one's in the NBA to get us started, and I'm seeing a move to a total here right now with the New Orleans Pelicans and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steam to the under here at 228.5 or so. We're going down to 227 here, it looks like. But a lot of steam this morning in the NBA. I'll talk about it when we preview the 10-game card. We'll preview 9 of the games. We threw out the Sixers and the Spurs, but we'll preview the other 9 games, all of those involving teams that have either playoff expectations or are still, have a reasonable shot at breathing here to make the postseason. So we'll preview those games. Hello to R. Thompson. I hope you had a great day with the tournament. Curtis is here as well. Curtis, thank you very much for your support of me here on the Sports Money Network. Dana Delp here today. Here's Blue.od.odi Doubles. Good morning. Hope it's all going good for you. He says Clemson killed that under yesterday for nothing. They still lost. Thanks a lot, Clemson. I think one of the moves that certainly has put me in a little bit of a good position has been my support of McNeese in the tournament and this season. Really, I made a big McNeese fan from the get-go. I talked about it on the show last night, and as it turns out, the way we went about the uh, preview there yesterday, they were built for this moment. Obviously, they barely held on. They even needed a review at the end of the game to hang on to that. They opened up a double-digit lead. Clemson, of course, a good team, came back and almost nipped them at the wire, but it was McNeese getting the win here, and I have McNeese into the Sweet 16 in my polls or in my brackets. So that was a pretty good start there, and Clemson fizzled there down the stretch. We'll talk about it here in just a moment. Uh, Robert McCormick, great day yesterday, he says. Maybe didn't get it quite there in the bracket. And I try to stick to my picks on the bracket with the spreads. Yeah, there's a few games, obviously, when you get uh, 10, 15, 25 points, whatever it is, you might, pick one in the bracket and, pick the underdog or something with your bet. But for the most part, I kind of stick to the bracket. If it's a closely rated game, 1, 2, 3 points or whatever, I'm probably going to roll with that team and just lay the points. Don't want to, confuse anybody if they're looking at my picks there in the bracket. Joe Alvarado, hello, and Andrew G, hello as well. All right, let's talk a few of the games from yesterday. I think it's worth talking about with some of those great games yesterday. Talking about the McNeese win there over Clemson. They led 40-16 early in the second half as Clemson could manage just 13 points. Want to correct something I said yesterday on the show with the guys, that the 13 points was the lowest amount of points scored in the first half in the NCAA tournament. It might not be the case. I didn't get a chance to look totally, but I believe the couple other teams may have scored 11 or 12 there. Maybe it had something to do with the the shot clock eras had two different shot clocks in the past. So maybe this is the one in the modern shot clock era. This was a low point. Remember, the shot clock, I believe, was a little bit longer when it was introduced to the college game, and some of the teams may have ended up with a low. But the key for McNeese was throwing a 2-3 zone at Clemson, and maybe it didn't look like it was working early on, but it was a solution here. Really, they said they had never even gone to that all season. Give Will Wade credit, and they went into a 2-3 zone. I mean, this is a throwback, right? You really don't see a lot of zone at all, even in today's college game. Something we were used to, and maybe something that maybe some of these teams now. I'm not saying that every mid-major, underdog should be going to a zone to try to upset these teams. You got to have some athletes and some personnel, and McNeese obviously, was able to build this roster up. Will Wade, maybe a master of the recruiting game, if you know what I mean, was able to build this team up and get them to that win. Purdue over High Point, they dominated, really. They won by 12 there in that game over High Point yesterday. Purdue, they really dominated the boards in that game. Smith had a big game, played all 40 minutes for Purdue, and they're going to take on McNeese on Saturday, and I have McNeese to advance there, so I'll be on McNeese. You can count it right now. Here, no reason to, not be on the Cowpokes there. That should be a great game, actually. Purdue 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 first-round games in the NCAA tournament, so consistently getting and moving on. BYU over VCU. This one I couldn't quite get right, and I should have known better. Looking at the matchups with what BYU did kind of down the stretch in their conference, played well, had some wins against very strong teams in their conference, and VCU maybe didn't have the strength of schedule to match up. So I did have the over, though, as the winner here on the show yesterday with BYU and VCU 80-71. VCU couldn't really, even though they scored 71, they couldn't hit from downtown, and they only shot 6 free throws, so you're not going to get home there. And BYU dominated inside with their top-notch interior game. They were just taller than VCU. That was apparent from the get-go. Cougars have won 10 of their last 11. Wisconsin drubbed Montana, got the money there yesterday, 85-66. Talk about making all your shots, man. They were just dominating there in the inside. Again, these big, taller teams, they totally out-rebounded Montana. I did have the premium pick winner in that one, and we also likely got home with the under there. It was close, but nonetheless, we did have the premium pick winner with Wisconsin yesterday, laying the points against Montana. We went with the under here on the show yesterday. In the Wisconsin and Montana game, and I believe it did. Yeah, it did go under there. It opened 148.5, closed 153. It was mostly 153 yesterday, and we talked about it on the show. So it was a winner here on the show yesterday. Creighton. So BYU will play Wisconsin, another really good game, and Big Sky fails again in the tournament. Okay, Creighton over Louisville yesterday, 89-75 as Creighton gets it done. I know that I was kind of on an island there a little bit with Creighton. There, again, I just stuck with my guns, and when it came to that game, I said I have Creighton in a futures bet, so we were going to roll with Creighton yesterday, and they were much the best, it felt like, in that game, as they made 11 three-pointers, and they scored 89 points in that game, despite just going 67% from the foul line, and Louisville ended up shooting, I believe, close to 80% in the game from the foul line, but just had 8 free throws as Neal dominated there for Creighton, and they win again, another first-round win for Creighton. Their 5 straight times to the tournament they've won in the first round. And look, Creighton has the experience there. Louisville actually has not had the kind of success that Creighton has had in the NCAA tournament over the last decade or so. So that made it, in a closely rated game, Creighton was the side. Auburn over Alabama State, of course, 83-63, but Alabama State got the money. We had Alabama State as a premium pick winner yesterday, as Auburn led 32-31 at halftime, and they needed a 9-0 run just to get that, as Auburn just 18 of 32 from the foul line, but Alabama State was 11 of 19. And last 5 years, number 1 seeds are just 10 and 10 against the spread in the second round. We'll see for Auburn. Gonzaga over Georgia. This was another key game for me in the brackets and overall, because I was on Gonzaga here. The way I looked at it, we also had the premium pick winner on the over. We gave out Gonzaga here on the show. They led 27-3 in this game. Total joke there. They shot 60% from three-point range, and they really have dominated some teams in some situations this year, and they did once again, as Georgia was playing in their first NCAA tournament game in 10 years, while Gonzaga reaches the Sweet 16 every year. And so Gonzaga looked much the best in that game. Houston dumped Edwardsville by 38 points. I think we nailed that one pretty well yesterday. We gave out Houston here on the show, said go ahead and lay the 4 touchdowns. We gave out a premium pick winner on the under yesterday, so we had that one. Drake over Missouri. This was another one that may have helped me out a little bit with one of the upsets yesterday in the brackets, and I have Drake moving along there in our sports money bracket. I did give out the under here in the show yesterday, and it was just 67-57. Drake, similar to McNeese in a way, they brought in D2 players for the most part. McNeese also had some Division I transfers as well, but the Bulldogs have some people say they don't have depth, and I was noticing yesterday, I thought that the depth wasn't that good, but it turns out in the end, the mix of players that they have are very good. Only two guys went the distance for them, and then everyone else kind of contributes. So Missouri was held to just 33% from the field. Michigan over UCSD. So this was a loser for me. I had UCSD plus 2.5. I could have got a better line. I could have maybe got a push out of it. Maybe even could have got 3.5 there somewhere. But Michigan toppled my UC San Diego Tritons. They led 65-63 after that massive comeback. And the guys were making fun of me there a little bit on the air. And, well, maybe they were warranted in the end. But I think in the end we got the best game of the night. And Michigan just 55% from the foul line. That ain't going to cut it against Texas A&M on Saturday, but we'll see there. That's who they'll play next. Texas Tech over Wilmington late night. Last night we signed off the air, but Texas Tech had it going on. They were going to win at 82-72. Red Raiders led at halftime by 4 points, and Texas Tech just 13 of 46 from long distance, but 14 of 23 inside and got it done there. And Wilmington got the money, and that's the first time in 6 years that the Colonial, or the Coastal, I should say, team has covered their first round game. They usually lose and don't cover, but a good job by Wilmington. So it's going to be Texas Tech and Drake, a couple of good buddies there, head coaches of those two teams, meeting on Saturday. Another good game was Arkansas over Kansas, setting up a game we're all looking forward to. A good game we had there with the two coaching legends. We'll get two more another coaching legend game next up with those two. Arkansas led by 11 early in the second half. Kansas eventually took the lead by 3 with 3:10 left, but it was all over at that point. Arkansas came right back and ended up winning the game. They've won 6 of their last 8. Talked about A&M there. I want to mention there in the Arkansas game there last night that we did have. What was it that we had? Oh no, I missed one here. Let me real quick. In the Tech and Wilmington game late, I think it was. My brackets are my notes here, and that is a little bit confusing for me there. Now let's see here. Let me get a few more games here I was looking at. Okay. Tennessee and Wofford. Got to talk about this one for sure. As Tennessee coasts to the win and gets the cover. I had the Tennessee Volunteers. They win 77-62. We did give out the over here on the show yesterday in that one. Actually, we had Tennessee as a premium and lost that game. Actually, Wofford got the money, but we did have the over here on the show. UCLA crushed Utah State in one of our best plays. I felt like a totally fade of the Mountain West Conference. These bad numbers continue to add up. Mountain West teams play again today. Guess what? I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Mountain West 2-17 against the spread in their last 19 first-round games. That cannot be ignored. UCLA and Tennessee, we saw the total come out in this game, and then everyone started pounding on the over like they don't even know what's going to happen in this game. I mean, come on, this game's going to be 100 points. I don't want to oversell it. I'm sure it won't be that low of scoring, but this total currently at 132 in UCLA and Tennessee. Maybe call me crazy. Yes, you can call me crazy. I had UCLA as a premium pick, and Mikey Money had them also on pregame. UCLA rolls there, and they're going to play Tennessee in that game. Tennessee favored by 4.5, total 132. St. John's rocked Omaha 83-33. That's where you've got the big matchup. St. John's versus Arkansas. They're in the next round on Saturday. St. John's favored by 7. Think of all the success that St. John's has had in the postseason. Not great, we know they've not played in the biggest games, but they've been to the postseason plenty of times, and they've never had a victory of 30 points in the NCAA tournament. They did there on on Thursday. So Omaha was chucking up those threes and made just 5 of 36. So Omaha led 7-0 in that game. All right. Appreciate you guys here in the chat as we get rolling with the show. Let's say hello to the few more folks here, and then we'll get started with our previews for the game. And Terrell, NYC Bar, hello and thank you. Terrell said, don't get caught taking too many underdogs here, and the favorites will take care of business, just like they are. Our Tomps, please join me at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I appear there right now, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific, as a regular appearance over there, and we'll be on there again today. So I'll give out a few of the night plays over there. If you'll please join me, not just you, our Toms, but everybody. And D Money, hello, nice to have D Money as always here. And let's see who else. Dimitri, you're doing great with us here in the chat. I want to thank you so much for your participation. There, he's going with Marquette in that matchup. Remember, who's Marquette playing? New Mexico, Mountain West team, 2-17 against the spread. First round, last 19 games for the Mountain West. Maybe one of them will get the win and the cover here. All right, Aubrey, nice to see you this morning in the chat. Thank you for being here. And Sharpie, thank you as well for being here. Man, Sharpie, we're just less than a week away from baseball season. And always want to recommend checking out Sharpie for your baseball coverage after you watch me, of course. And NYC Bar was rolling with that Kansas money line, but he won. He had the over in that Gonzaga game. Thank you. Shannon Moore, hello. Great to have you as always. Abel, hello. And our Tom's like that St. John's cover. Abel A had a good one with UCLA and VGK. Let's talk about a little hockey here real quick from last night, because I had a pretty okay day for sure on that big card. We had a lot of winners here. It felt like yesterday we had Calgary as a premium pick winner over New Jersey as an underdog. We also had the over here on the show. We had the over here on the show with Toronto and the Rangers. I want to shout out Mikey Money for that under in Florida, Columbus. How about it? I went over on the show. So shout out Mikey. Score was 0-0 at the end of regulation there with Florida. And CBJ, also he did have the Colorado. Mikey got the best of me in hockey yesterday. He had the Colorado Avalanche in that road win over Ottawa. I threw in a clunker there for sure, thinking that Ottawa at home could take down the Avs. No contest. Avalanche rocks there. Also, we had a premium pick winner with the Anaheim Ducks as an underdog against the Nashville Predators yesterday. And we also had premium pick winner Utah Hockey Club on the puck line over Buffalo. Winners late included Vegas Golden Knights puck line winner here on the show. We also had the over as a premium pick winner, and we had Carolina here on the show yesterday on the puck line as a winner. All right, and let's see what else. Shannon had Arkansas and McNeese there. Who knows where McNeese is, you guys? Do you guys know where McNeese is located? And here's James Parham. Good morning. Without looking. Shout out to Twisted as well. Irish King is here. And Terrell, good one, Terrell. All right. Hey, everyone. Like I said, I'm going to have a bunch of plays here for you on the show, including the first 8 games of the NCAA tournament, but load it up right now. Over at winnable.com is my sports money premium card. Right now, currently loaded up. Get you ready for the action. Look, it's just my NCAA card today is either $3 to get all 11 of my play. I have 11 plays on the 16 game card with my sports money premiums. You know, I deal in high volume, and really just want to let you know what I'm on, what my preferred play is in these games, and you can get them for just $3 For those plays are $4 for the entire day. It'll include my NBA and other action here this weekend. Or you can get $19.95 a month and subscribe for just 56 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM over at winnable.com/Ramon. I've got my NCAA plays loaded up, keep you in action all day, or match your plays up against them as well and see if we agree. Maybe you and I have a consensus, and that puts you on a good side. So check me out over at winnable.com. Also, I'll have for the free subscribers today, I'll have more women's action there as well. We'll give out a few winners on the women's side today, hopefully. We did give out a winner on the show there yesterday with William and Mary plus the points over High Point. And today we really get into action in the women's tournament starting early. Hey, if you want to get a jump on some basketball, it starts at 11:30 Eastern and 8:30 a.m. Pacific. You get started with the matchup between Iowa State and Michigan. Watch half hour of women's action before you get into the men here. All right. And so you can get some more action from me. My women's plays will be on my free subscription over there at winnable.com. So, hey, you don't have to sign up for the premium big package. You can get some winners from me there with the free plays. So please check me out over there at winnable.com. This is how you support me here on the channel, coming here every day. Hey, I'd love to do it for free, but this is how, hey, it takes me about 2 or 3 hours of prep work. We're here 2 or 3 hours doing the show. I think it's very reasonable to say, hey, support me and keep me coming back here on the Sports Money Network. I want to thank all the guys for joining us last night on the channel. A really fun time there with Thursday night coverage. Also, shout out to all of our friends down in San Antonio. If you're watching me this morning, want to know that you guys did a great job last night on your guys' stream and a great conversation there with the show yesterday. We were on the air, so I had to go back and watch it again, but really good conversation with the guys there yesterday down. We know all of our friends are down there in San Antonio having a good time this weekend, enjoying there is our Tom says, Lake Charles, Louisiana. She got it right. Johnny says, what was that NBA Steam again? It was New Orleans and what did I say it was, you guys? New Orleans and Minnesota game to go under 227, I think was the Steam that came in there. Johnny, thank you. All right. And let's see. I think that might be it. Oh, so when you go over to winnable.com, it's going to look like this. And whoops, did I get it right? It's going to look like this. And when you go to it, you can kind of scroll down here. And, there's the subscription package here. You'll see it $19.95, and you can pay Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatever. If you subscribe for a month, I'll throw on an extra week. If you get a week, I'll put on 10 days. That's the way I kind of run it. I control it all. No one else does. And there's the free subscriptions there too. And I send out things like golf, auto racing, tennis, women's basketball. All my peripheral sports really are absolutely free to let you know I do the work. Here, this is what I do. This right here is my job, the Morning Steam Show, and handicapping and talking all with you guys. All right, let's go with our coverage for today. I think we've covered some great action here, and we're going to talk college basketball here, and we'll talk pro basketball as well. I don't think it will be that long of a show. I probably should do all the games, but hey, we got to save some content for some of the other appearances and all that. All right, let's take a look here and get rolling with our coverage. And we're going to roll it out here in the NCAA tournament. Get you started here with the first game on the board with The Baylor Bears taking on the Mississippi State Bulldogs in an 8-9 matchup. So you know we're getting a close one here between Baylor and Mississippi State. This one I do have a premium in this one. So if you want to go over and check it out, subscribe right now. You can see what I'm on for that early game at 12:15 Eastern and 9:15 Pacific. Like I said, if you click on that, my picks for today is $3. Just for the NCAA picks, like I said, or $4 a day. I'll throw in the NBA. I don't think I'll have a premium in that NHL game between Pittsburgh. I'm going to give you a winner here, and maybe I'll have another winner later on that appearance there on the other channel that I'm appearing on. But we're going to kind of just roll with the basketball, it feels like today. So let's get rolling here right now. Baylor and Mississippi State. First game up here between the Bears. Let me get totally caught up here. Appreciate that. All right. For the Bears here, they are a 1.5 point dog here currently. Now, I think I'm pretty much going to be stuck here with Mississippi State. I want to say stuck. I think they can beat this team. Look, I'm still big on the SEC despite some quirky results yesterday with the best conference in the country. But I do have a futures play on Mississippi State, so I'm not going to back off. I have Mississippi State to reach the Final Four here. I talked about it on the show last night, and I talked about it yesterday. It was a bet that I placed quite a long time ago. So let me see if I got those odds here on my desk. I have Mississippi State to reach the Final Four at 14-1. I don't even think that's a great price anymore. I don't think I got the best of that price, but I'm going to roll with it here with Mississippi State over Baylor today, minus this 1.5 points. Baylor actually opened either a pick or a 1-point favorite, so the move has actually been on Mississippi State here right now. Baylor is a terrible underdog now. They're 3-8 against the spread as an underdog this season. They were 13-9 against the spread overall. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games, including losses to Texas Tech and Houston, tournament teams in their conference play. The regular season game against Houston, they lost. They did cover that game though at home, getting 4.5, and they also covered the game against Texas Tech. So Baylor did cover 3 straight right now coming in. Mississippi State lost to Mizzou in their conference tournament game. They won their first game, rocked LSU, but then got kind of blown out by Missouri, but no problem. We know Missouri, was a tournament team here as well. So let's go over some numbers here. We'll go to the chat here. In this one right now, Baylor, they're not a great rebounding team. That's really one of their bugaboos. They come in, they haven't played in over a week right now coming into this one. Usually Baylor, they're not seeded 9th in the NCAA tournament. This is kind of a low point over the last half of a decade. Baylor, when they make the tournament, they're usually seeded much higher. So they've had not the best year, but Baylor has won their last 6 first round contests, but again, they come in having lost 5 of their last 8 games. They did go 7-3 in non-league play, 1-1 against the SEC this season. For Mississippi State, they too have lost 5 of their last 7 games coming in, but they went 12-1 in non-conference play with a number 150 strength of schedule in those non-conference games. Mississippi State, they are an inside team, really. They base it on their strength inside, shoot 55% from inside the arc, but their 3-point shooting is not that great. They also have been off for a little more than a week. They're in the tournament for the 3rd straight year, but they haven't won a tournament game since 2008. 5 straight losses for Mississippi State in the NCAA tournament. SEC sub 500 team against the spread in the first round. Meanwhile, the Big 12 teams in the first round over the last 6 years are 21-11 against the spread, but still I'm going to take Mississippi State. And this one, let's go to the chat. Yeah, and I'm not saying I would, be on Baylor if I wasn't locked in with Mississippi State. Again, I'm kind of rolling with the SEC still in some of these games. All right, here we go with our Tom says Mississippi State is twisted. Mississippi State and over. Roberts likes Mississippi State. Abel is on the over here. Joe T gives us our poll numbers. Thank you, Joe. This is our community here making the picks and says Baylor is 64-36 according to our community tab here in this one. So interesting there that our community definitely liking Baylor here. Dana's got a play for us in women's ball today with Indiana there. Says take Indiana -1 in their game today against Utah. They're actually up to -1.5 or even 2 now at some of the sharp books as Indiana takes the move here. Don't let me forget, right? I think yesterday I said I was going to give women's plays out, and I didn't. So maybe I should. I don't want to confuse anybody. We'll wait till the end of the show. I just don't want to forget. I've got 3 plays right now in the women's tournament. That's about all I had maybe time for, but I think I will have a time to send out a package here. It may not come out for the early games, may come out towards the middle of the card. I didn't really have anything yet on some of those early games, so thank you, Dana. And see here, nobody said Baylor. Interesting that the community that is inside the post tab likes Baylor, but the morning steam pick here apparently is Mississippi State, says Thomas. That is interesting, isn't it? I'm on them, you're on them. We're on a consensus play here with Mississippi State. Thank you, Abel, for your parlay here today. And Terrell says exactly what we were kind of saying there, right? This is not the same Baylor necessarily.
Play.
All right. And let me continue on here. Okay, over for NYC Bar here maybe today. Maybe over for Shannon as well. Here's James Parham, Mississippi State. Lots of Mississippi State. And Subhuman. Good morning, Sub. Nice to see you today. And Timos as a prop for us. All right. Thank you, Timos. Nice to see you today. All right, let's Cash Kane says he'll take the Baylor money line. We got to get somebody on Baylor here, but again, interesting to note, and that isn't just some, it's not like Joe has, he worked hard to get all these polls, and I know it's important to him for everyone to vote. I want you guys to go in there. If you have time, please go in and vote. Hit the thumbs up on it as well. But it wasn't like a small vote with the Mississippi State and Baylor game. I think there was a good 30 votes there with the Mississippi State and Baylor game. So again, just so interesting. Hey, Smoke, great job last night. Smoke on the show with us. Oh, it was great to have Smoke in there. Hey, Justin. Hi, Justin. Sports money is money. Hope you got my message, Justin. He was so cool. Hey, what an honor for Justin. He won the pool. He says, put me down for a subscription to the plays. Justin, make sure you sign up there. Don't forget. He is going with Baylor, though. But Justin said, you know what? Just give me the picks, Ramon. Give me your – I know he's not saying he's going to just, go with Ramon all the time. He just wants to see the picks. So remember, Justin, go to this one. Just use a promo code that I sent you there in the private message I sent you, and it should be no charge. There might be a $1 or $2 fee for the winnable handling of the order, but I've given you the code for basically a lifetime subscription to my plays. I hope we don't end up homeless with the plays, you and I. Okay, let's do some. I'm going to have some winners for you. You've given me plenty of winners, so please allow me to at least give you my picks for better or worse. And just such an honor for you to even say that after winning the prize there this week. So thanks a lot, Justin. All right, let's take a look right now. So, there's Smoke. I want to say hello to Smoke. Did a great job with us on the chat, and really, the kind of conversation I expect from Smoke last night as we talked about some of the intricacies in the uh, coaching realm a little bit. One thing I know, Smoke, I think he was leading me on a little bit. He knows that I love talking about college basketball coaches and the movement of coaches. It's such a big deal in today's uh, in today's game. So, awesome conversation last night with Smoke. Okay, let's see here. Anything else in this one? All right. That's right, Joe. This chat must not be voting in the polls. Sharpie, you go to the post tab under there, the posts tab on YouTube, and you'll hopefully see those polls. I'm looking at it here. I don't know if I can show you. It's kind of awkward here. I gotta. I'll show you one of my. I have an old computer here, old Chromebook. But so here's the polls here right now. There it looks like not the best picture of them. It's like tilted. So they're Baylor, Mississippi State right there. This is kind of what it looks like, you guys. And then there's Memphis and Colorado State. And so you see what I got over here. So you know what I'm looking at when I look over this way and I'm looking over that way. Got all my other computers set up here. So hopefully you can get to that, Sharpie. And again, we do want you to vote. I think not, saying that we want you to vote, but also I think it gives you a good feel for what our community likes in those games. So thanks, Joe, for reporting that. That's right, Justin. We're not going to end up on the street. We're going to end up in the Bahamas. I'd love to, handicap from exotic locations. You know what, T-Moss? Maybe it is a members thing. I don't know about that. I think Mikey can set us straight on that later. Maybe I don't know exactly how it works. Thank you, Abel here. You guys are cooking here right now. No, you have to be a member. Thank you, R. Tom. So please, if you guys want, there is a level of membership there that's, I think, $4 or $5. I think you can also be gifted a membership too. We run those ways. All right. Let's keep it rolling here right now with the rest of our games. Come on, let's go. Ramon, let's go. Robert Morris and Alabama. Look, Robert Morris has been kind of a darling of ours. Again, here on the Morning Steam, we talked Robert Morris basketball a few times for sure this season. We talked about a lot of these mid-majors, given the fact that they play on other days, and we previewed mid-majors all season long. So we know about Robert Morris here on the Morning Steam show, don't we? Going up here against the Alabama Crimson Tide, and Alabama favored in this one big time, 22.5, 166. We know Alabama can put up the points for sure here. This is a 215 matchup here with Robert Morris. They've won 10 in a row and 16 of their last 17 games coming in. They haven't played in 10 days coming in. They're one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the country, probably top 35 or so. Robert Morris, you got to factor in their conference and everything, but numbers wise anyway, they're still going to be probably able to match up a little bit with powerful Alabama. This is the first time for the Colonials in the NCAA tournament in 10 years. They are a team that they do have some problems with turnovers, really, for Alabama. They're just 4-5 straight up in their last 9 games in the SEC. Let's call it for what it's worth. I mean, they've had tough games, tough schedule. We know that, but they did lose 104-82, of course, to Florida in the tournament after blowing out Kentucky. Robert Morris was one of the best spread teams in the country this season with a 26-7 spread record, 11-2 against the spread as an underdog. Alabama was okay against the spread too, 19-14 against the spread, but 13-12 against the spread as a favorite. They were 6-2 against the spread as a dog. Also, Alabama here, they won 3 of their 4 games against teams outside of the top 100, like Robert Morris, by 23 points or more. 3 of the 4 games there against non-top 100s. 3 of those wins came by 23 points or more. You see the spread there. Alabama, they play the fastest tempo of any team in the country. That's why you got this total here, pretty high for sure. Here, they're also a top 50 field goal defense. Is the Crimson Tide. Let's go to the chat here a little bit and see what you have in this one. I will say this: in the last 3 years, teams from the Horizon League, and they've had a little bit of movement in some of their teams, but the level teams in the Horizon League are 5-0 against the spread in the NCAA tournament. Last 3 years, Horizon League 5-0 in the NCAA tournament, but in the last 3 years, number 2 seeds have fared pretty well, going 8-4 against the spread in the opening round. Let's go to the chat. See what you have here. Robert Morris taking on Alabama. Alabama, as Keith Jackson used to say. All right, here we go with Cash Kane talking about that whiskey under there last night. All right, here we go. Our Tom starts us off with Alabama. Curtis says Bama team total over for sure. And Cash Kane, Alabama, and the over. And Twisted says, give me Bobby Moe here. And Cash Kane says, when the number's that high, it's in a blowout. And look, I think we saw that yesterday a little bit, right? The unders are coming through. We heard Smoke talk about it last night. He was heavy on those unders. And we were on plenty of unders. We might have taken a couple too many overs there a little bit. But it does feel like this one, I don't know, maybe this one won't be the under, but agreed with the blowouts kind of going under there for the most part. I'm trying to see how, I didn't break them down, but it would be interesting to see how many of those blowout unders were there a little bit. Robert likes under here in this one, kind of agreeing with what Cash Kane was saying. And Thomas says, yeah, I think you got to be green. You know, Thomas, you got the wrench on one end. I think you got to be the green there. Somebody with NYC VAR there under. And Cash Kane. He says he does love okay, so he's talking about but he loves the over in this one. Maybe the exception to the rule, huh, Cash Kane? Robert Morris did go 9-4 to the over as an underdog, and 10-10 to the over as a favorite. So maybe as a dog, maybe that's what they want to do. Alabama, they were just kind of a 50-50 team over under this season. All right, I've got Robert Morris here actually to cover against Alabama. I'm taking the points with Robert Morris in this one. Look, I like that. Horizon does pretty good matched up. They're always getting a ton of points. Not like any of these Horizon teams were, any good or anything. So there you go. All right. And that's it for that one. Let's move on. We're doing 8 games here, the first part. How about Lipscomb and Iowa State? We showed it there yesterday. I mean, it is in the post tab. We did show it on the show yesterday, talking about the 8 teams that are, top 20 offenses or top 30 defenses in the Ken Palm numbers, whether you like them or not, whether you trust them or not, whether you even care. The metric sites in general are still always going to be kind of the same for the most part. And you can almost narrow down a field of 8 teams that could win the national championship. And Iowa State's on that list. They're like the kind of the outsider, if you will, but they are on that list. They're a 15-point favorite. They're a 3 seed, so they're a 15-point favorite here against Lipscomb. And the total 143. This is a 3-14 matchup this morning. This morning for me here. Lipscomb comes in on a bit of a roll here for sure in this one. They've won 6 in a row and 11 of their last 12. And like a lot of these smaller conference teams, they haven't played in nearly 2 weeks, 12 days here. The Bison went 0-2 against top 100 teams. They lost those 2 games by 16 and 29 points. Lipscomb is a 3-point shooting team. They don't stop. They shoot 56.7% this season. That's almost top 20 in the country, actually, and they get 38% of their points on 3-point range. Lipscomb is making their first appearance in 7 years in the NCAA tournament. For Iowa State, remember, they're missing their point guard. That's been a bit of a detraction for Iowa State supporters. Gilbert, he's pretty good point guard. He's out for the tournament, so they're missing him. I think that's why we've seen a little bit of a downgrade on Iowa State. They've been banged up a little bit coming in. They went just 3-4 straight up in their last 7 games. Iowa State forces turnovers big time. They're a top 15 team in the country in forcing turnovers. They also are a big time 3-point shooting team for the most part. They shoot 55%, top 50 team from shooting downtown. Iowa State went 19-3 against teams ranked outside of the top 50 this season. Iowa State's made the Sweet 16 in 2 of their last 3 years in the NCAA tournament. The Atlantic Sun just 1-3 against the spread in the first round over the last 4 seasons. Meanwhile, Big 12 teams 21-11 against the spread in the first round over the last 6 tournaments. Over the last 5 years, the number 3 seeds, they're pretty good. 13-7 against the spread. Nearly 2/3 of the covers for the favored team here. Let's go to the chat in this one and take a look at Lipscomb and Iowa State. Iowa State 16-12 against the spread as a favorite this season. Here we go. And hello to Old E in the chat today. Also, let's see here. It says the injury, talking about the injuries from this matchup here between Lipscomb and Iowa State. Obviously, Lipscomb lost one of their good players early in the year. An NYC bar likes Lipscomb. R. Thompson's on Iowa State. Twisted's on Lipscomb. And Cash Kane liking the under. Curtis first half under here. Abel likes Lipscomb first half as well. Robert likes the under here with Iowa State and Lipscomb, and I do too. I know I talked a lot about these 3-point shooting teams, but again, you have deliberate teams also that crisp passing, always looking for that best 3-point shot. They're not running it down the court and chucking them up. They pass the ball around, especially Lipscomb, and both teams, really, right? Here's Abel, says Lipscomb points first half. Boy, that's a popular play there a little bit, huh? Okay, so hey, this one's kind of mixed here a little bit between Lipscomb and Iowa State, and I'm on the under here in this one. All right, Colorado State and Memphis. How about it? Okay, we just got done talking about Colorado State. They're in the Mountain West. I'll say it for the 3rd time. Mountain West 2-17 against the spread in the first round. Over the last several years here, a little bit. They are 3-15 straight up, 2-16 against the spread in the first. Or I think there was one yet, right? So 2-17 or whatever it is now. It doesn't matter. 3-18 doesn't matter what it is, right? We know it's bad. Colorado State though has won 10 straight games coming in. Could they be the exception to the rule here? Look, Memphis. Funny because they really have been the type of team right now. They're also on a bit of a winning streak for sure, but they don't cover the spread. But they're usually favored in those games, and they've struggled against the spread really for the most part this season as a favorite. Colorado State's on fire, not only winning, they're covering spreads, left and right. They are hopefully going to transcend what's gone on, or I say hopefully. I think I don't want to tip my hand there too much here in this one, but look, for the Rams here, they were 6-5 in non-conference games, 12-7 against top 100 teams. They do have a top 25 offense, shooting-wise in the country. Do the Colorado State Rams are also a top 20 team on the defensive glass. This season, the Rams are making their third trip to the tournament in 4 years, so they do have the experience that also can help them a little bit, even if it hasn't worked out for them or any of these other teams. Pretty much, if you throw out my San Diego State Aztecs, the numbers get even worse for the Mountain West, actually. So for me here, look, I've already I have Memphis as a futures pick to win the national championship. Not that I thought that was going to be the case. I just thought it was plenty of equity for me to take Memphis early on this season. They're pretty talented, and maybe I could get something out of this one. They're one of my longest shots on the board. I got them at 150 to 1. Got $10 on them. Okay, $10 on them to win $1,500. If I can get this team somehow on a little bit of a run, we can work out a little profit with that for sure. So I'm obviously going to be on Memphis here. I'm fading the Mountain West Conference pretty much every time, and Memphis, they were 6-2 as an underdog this season against the spread. So don't make no bones about it. Not only is Colorado State, on a roll right now with their 10-game winning streak, they also covered the spread in all 10 of those games. So that's one of the dealios here moving into this one. Although the Rams, I talked about those tournament bids that they've received in the past, they have lost each of their last two tournament games. Their first round game, they've lost 2 in a row, and they have not won in the NCAA tournament since 2013. So, these are some of the things you got to balance out there. It feels like a little bit today. Everybody talks about the underdogs in the 5-12 game, that this is always where you experience the upsets. We got one yesterday, obviously, I think, right? But the underdogs in the 5-12 game are 11-9 against the spread in the last 5 years. All right, let me see what you guys have in this one. With Memphis here, I think, here we go. Twisted on Memphis, Cash Cane, Memphis, R. Tom's Memphis, NYC Bar's got a lean in there. Thomas says he likes Hardaway as a coach. Look, Hardaway's done a fine job. Nobody kind of gave Penny a chance when he kind of took the job there, and look how long he's been there now. I think he has been a fine college basketball coach. Cash Cane says this is it for Memphis Wine Time. Great job by you guys last night on the stream. I watched, I was watching it this morning. Actually, I was watching it as I was prepping for the show for a few hours, the stream with the guys there. Hello to all my friends in San Antonio right now watching. Here's Robert. He likes Memphis. And Thomas says this is a consensus play. Maybe hope I didn't get too carried away. Again, there's a lot of great numbers there for Colorado State. The thing is, this conference doesn't do very good. Abel's on Memphis. Stony Mob, hello, Stony. Nice to see you. He likes Colorado State on the money line. James Parham likes the over. And Terrell says this is a blowout. Come on. Shannon, Memphis money line. And Abel says the Tigers are going to feast here. All right. I'm on Memphis. And I'm on them at 150 to 1 to win the national championship. All right. For $10. Hey, 10 to win 1,500. Go Tigers. And again, like I said, they get a Sweet 16. That ticket's going to make money here. We'll see. Okay. Let's keep it going here right now. We're previewing the first 8 games, a day card of the NCAA tournament. Mount St. Mary's taking on Duke. We already got the big news that Cooper Flagg going to be eligible to play. Well, eligible. We know he's eligible, but he's going to be available here if Duke so chooses to play him in this game, and I think they will. Maybe be limited, maybe, because they'll be able to paste Mount St. Mary's here. Whether or not they cover, they'll win comfortably for sure. This is kind of the no-brainer as far as straight up. So you can take your time with Flagg. You don't want him to get hurt, but look, a sprained ankle, if you start to feel better, you got to get it going. You got to get out there. We talk about a sprained ankle, and hey, if we've sprained an ankle, takes us a week or two for sure to get going again, right? But nowadays they put you in a electronic thing where they stimulate your tendons and muscles in there and everything. That kind of speeds up the process to get these things rolling again. So that's what Cooper Flagg has been going through here, and it's not just about Flagg. This team's got fine players. Although Flagg does do it all. I mean, he leads the team in every statistical category. The main one, points, rebounds, and assists. I mean, he's amazing. And I've said it on the show last night. I don't think it's a dumb take at all. If anybody thinks that Cooper Flagg is a can't-miss NBA prospect, they're wrong. This guy's going to be an all-NBA type of player, generational player here, comparable to, all-star caliber talent. That's what I think about Flagg. And I think another thing about him wanting to play in this game and all the tournament games is, might be the only chance he gets to play in the tournament. Duke is my pick. If you look at the brackets, I'm on Duke to win the national championship over Florida. So let's take a look, though, real quick. We got to decide on a 32-point spread. Don't forget. So let's see what we have here with you guys in the chat in this one. You have a Duke team here right now, 21-12 against the spread as a favorite, but Mount St. Mary's 14-5 against the spread as an underdog. I was on a little bit of an island in that play-in game. I went into Mount St. Mary's in that game. And most of the chat or a lot of the people we were hanging with here on the show kind of was, on American in that game. But we were on Mount St. Mary's. Look, we talked about Mount St. Mary's a few times this year for sure here on the show, and they've done a great job, man. These two teams are combined 44-23 against the spread. Both of them excellent spread teams. They both covered 8 of their last 10 games overall coming into this this game. So, all right, let's go to the chat. We don't have to, these games. I know that these 30-point spread games do make it a little bit awkward for sure, but we got to make a decision here in this one. Here we go, chat. Let's see what you got. Maybe I'll just rely on the chat here. I feel like this is a little bit tricky because we've seen Duke before in these first-round games. It's almost like, I don't want to say it goes all the way back to Coach K when they've been extremely favored in these games, but they almost do a little bit of courtesy, a little bit of a courtesy at the end of the games, emptying the bench. Everyone gets to play. We know that everyone on Duke is good, but it does feel like they kind of, take it back a little bit, right? All right. Mount St. Mary's team total under for Art Thomas. And Thomas has had that in. I said on the show last night, I remember spraining my ankle in a basketball game, and I couldn't walk and I couldn't move. So what I do? Call up the girlfriend. Come over. Can't move. I'm just gonna. All right. Robert's on the under here. That was when I had girlfriends. All right. I don't get out much anymore. Over for VAR, super over for Terrell. And Cash Kane says should be an under, if anything. Stony Mob on Mount St. Mary's. And let's see here. Abel says Mount St. Mary's. Jim Casey, Mount St. Mary's. Abel says backdoor cover, Mount St. Mary's. And Thomas says, so I'll do it. I'll just roll with Team Steen consensus on a, a 116 game. Why not? I have a premium on the total in this game. If you guys subscribe over at winnable.com with me, but it's obvious everyone here. And like I said, and you guys kind of agree too, Duke is one of the most courteous teams. I think this coach, also kind of fits the mold of the Duke coach here. Not gonna out there to embarrass anyone or anything like that. And Flag should get a few minutes, right? Just get it out there, get it loose a little bit. One thing about a sprained ankle, how it tightens up and everything with all those tendons, and it's trying to repair itself, and you got to shake it out a little bit, right? You got to get it moving a little bit so you can be ready to go when you feel your best. Okay, I think that was it for that one. That was a tough one, but let's continue on right now with a real interesting game here between Vandy and St. Mary's in a 7-10 matchup here. St. Mary's the 7 seed. Vandy's lost 3 in a row coming into this one. They got dumped by Texas in the conference tournament. Before that, they lost to Georgia and Arkansas. Nothing wrong with those losses, but they didn't cover. They failed to cover in 3 straight as well. St. Mary's lost to Gonzaga, of course, in the big game, 58-51. They did not cover in that one. They did win. They were on a winning streak before that, but they have failed to cover in 4 straight games coming in, and St. Mary's just 11-17 against the spread as a favorite. They're also just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games overall coming into this one. Vanderbilt just 6-8 against the spread as an underdog this season. And let's take a look here at some other numbers here, and you guys can get ready here in this one with Vanderbilt and St. Mary's. So Vanderbilt, not only that 3-game losing streak, but they've also lost 8 of their last 12 games overall. Coming into this one, they did go 12-1. Vandy did against non-conference opponents. However, they played one of the easiest non-conference schedules in the country. Really, bottom 10%. Probably about bottom 10% feels like for their non-conference schedule. And then they went 6-11 against teams in the top 50. So they did have some issues there. Now, remember, they pulled off 2 of the biggest upsets of the season on their home court, but nonetheless, I got one steam move coming in here right now in the NBA, and this one's in the game between Denver and Portland. Steam to the over here from 224 to 225 right now. Some morning steam rolling in here. Denver and Portland game to go over. Haven't seen anything on the college board yet, although we did have some overnight and prior to today. Okay, continue on though here with this one. You've got Vanderbilt. They do they're not great on the defensive perimeter either. They're actually they're a bottom 20% team defending. Vandy, though, they do force turnovers. Are pretty strong at forcing turnovers. They're a top 50 team in forcing turnovers this season. The Commodores are in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 8 years. For St. Mary's, they've gone 8-1 in their last 9 games overall, 18-2 in their last 20 games. They have only played 2 games in the last 20 days coming in. They have a top 15 field goal defense in the country. They are also number 2 in the country on the offensive glass. St. Mary's went 11-5 against teams in the top 100 like Vanderbilt. And St. Mary's has gone 3-2 in their last 5 first-round games in the NCAA tournament, 3-2 straight up. All right, let's go with it here. See what you have. Vanderbilt and St. Mary's. Good game here. Let's see what you got. Gale's always kind of a international team in a way. Here we go. Hello, Spoons. Are you in San Antonio, Spoons? Nice to see you here. He's got Bandy on the money line here, and this one is a dog. Okay, how about it? Our Thompson's on St. Mary's. Robert's on St. Mary's. Twisted's on St. Mary's. Shannon is on St. Mary's. NYC Bar, though, does say, let's get a cover with Vandy. James Parham with a Vandy. Here comes the Vandys all of a sudden. Over for Johnny. Stoney here. He's got that wet. Can I say that? He's got Vandy against the spread. And there's Abel with the over. Here's Perk with that awesome logo. I can't even believe it. I thought at first, Perk, that it was a surfer knowing you, but it's actually a skier. I didn't know. I thought you were a surfing. Perky's kind of one of those guys that he goes probably surfing in the morning, skiing in the afternoon, and then come and takes your girlfriend at night. You know what I'm saying? All right. Terrell says this is the most intriguing first down. Well, come on, Terrell. It is a very intriguing game, but that San Diego Michigan game last night, too, was pretty crazy. All right. Oh, my God. Perky. I can't believe I'm going to get a Perky polo. That's going to be so cool. All right. And that's going to do it, I think, for this one, as I'm going to make my play, and I'm on Vandy. Look, there. I was glad that first I thought it was going to be all I thought it was going to be all St. Mary's in the chat, and then here come the Vandys. I'm on Vandy plus the points. Talk about intriguing games. I think intriguing games are close, right? So I'm going to take the points here. Maybe St. Mary's will win it here in this one. I mean, to be clear in this one, I did take St. Mary's in our brackets. Okay, so this is one where look. Like I said, there are some situations where the spread might be big enough where I'm going to take the favorite in the pool or in the brackets, and then I'm going to probably be on the dog. And that's the case with this one. The widely reported steam did come in on Vanderbilt here. They were, I believe, as much as a 5.5 point favorite for the most part. Okay, that's it for that one. We got a few more here. I believe, and then we're going to be done. North Carolina and Ole Miss here in this one. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's back on the Carolina bandwagon, a team that barely made it to the NCAA tournament, that maybe had to get a little fudgery just to get into the tournament, but they're here now. They did win that last game. Maybe they do deserve this position here right now, but I do have a bet on let me see what I got. Let me make sure I get this right. Okay, so for Carolina here in this one, they are a 2-point favorite here, and the total 155 and a half now, maybe down to 1.5 a little bit here in this one, with Ole Miss taking on North Carolina here. Let's talk about this one and see what you got in the chat. For Ole Miss, they've lost 5 of their last 8 games coming into this one. The Rebels were 11-2 in non-league games this season. They were also 11-11 against top 50 teams like the North Carolina Tar Heels. The Rebels will force turnovers. They're a top 35% team in forcing turnovers this season, as Ole Miss is returning to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 6 seasons, basically before the pandemic. Coach Beard here for Ole Miss. He's been at plenty of schools, and he's won his first round games. He's undefeated in the first round. He, of course, has coached a few stops before this one. North Carolina has gone 8-2 over their last 10 games, coming in with the losses to that other blue team, that darker blue team, the Duke Blue Devils. Tar Heels went 7-5 in non-conference games. Coming into this one, UNC 2-5 against top 100s this season in non-conference games, like teams like Mississippi. The Tar Heels are a top 50 team, inside shooting inside, and they're also a top 50-ish team or so on the defensive glass. Now, last year, remember, the Tar Heels did make the Sweet 16, and they went to the Final Four back in 22. Remember, they were in the championship game. So the SEC here, the ACC, over the last 3 seasons, Carolina, ACC teams are 11-4 against the spread in the first round. So let's go to the chat and see what we got here in this one with North Carolina and Ole Miss here in this one. This one's going to be a little bit important here, I think, for me, because I'm on Ole Miss here in this one. I got kind of the brackets are kind of riding with me here in this one with Ole Miss. I discredited Carolina, and I may have to just still kind of discredit them a little bit this season. Remember, people were burying the ACC early yesterday, right, with some of these clunkers a little bit outside of Duke. Now, maybe the ACC has been kind of maybe not living up to expectations. But again, 11-3, 11-4 against the spread, last 15 games, last 3 years here for the ACC. Okay, let me go to the chat here. Ole Miss 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games, but they were 8-6 as an underdog this season. Here we go. And here is Robert on Ole Miss. Thomas, I think he's saying that, well, they're getting fitted for the dress. I thought they were supposed to get fitted for the shoes. I think Thomas is suggesting that Carolina could be a Cinderella. Can we even call North Carolina a Cinderella? I don't know if that's what Thomas means. That's what it looks like, though. Shannon says UNC to cover our Toms. North Carolina first half, under 4 NYC bar. Stoney likes the under and the Carolina spread. Abel likes the under here as well. Hello to Donut today. Hello, Donut. And Terrell says they can still make it. This team can make it to the Sweet 16. It's funny, right? I think if you took that roster and looked at it, you'd say this is a good team. But for whatever reason, it's been a little bit funky this season for the Heels for some reason. And that, right? Look at that. Perfect. There you go, Robert. What he said there. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's all the stats I have. Here's Twisted there. Says Ole Miss. And that comes next for Seneca. Put the slippers on last. Carolina Blue. And Ole Miss for Jim as well. Thomas says they have that chemistry, right? With look, they don't. Davis is great, there's no doubt. And Cato also. This is a good roster. It's just I don't know what the deal is here a little bit. All right, that's it for you guys. I'm on Ole Miss. This is a big game for me, actually. If I win this, for me, it feels like in this game, because this is such a closely rated game, obviously, with the teams being I know it's an 11-6, but the 1.5 point spread here, I think, is going to make it kind of a 50-50 with everyone in the pools and the bracket and the decent start that I've got off to in some of these bracket contest. I'm in a bunch of them with friends and family. Shout out to my family and friends on Facebook. All right. I think that's going to do it there. Of course, I'm on Ole Miss. I think this is kind of a separator, even though I'm picking the lower seed. Does feel like kind of a 50-50 game with the momentum that Carolina got from that win the other night. So, okay, that's it on this one. Pro Reactor, nice to see you today in the chat. Great to have you. One more here in the college. It's so fun, isn't it? I wish we were doing 16 games, but I got to save some content. We only have 16 games. A regular college card, I could pick and choose, right? Okay, great one here. Don't be fooled. Grand Canyon, look, any college basketball fan knows this ain't some fluke. That Grand Canyon back in the tournament again, right? They've been around for a few years, have the Havocs. Here they're in the NCAA tournament for the fourth time in 5 years. They went 1-2, however, in the first round in the previous couple of years here. Of late, they've won 15 of their last 17 games coming in. They did not win. They did not win the WAC this year. They were just second place, 13-3, but they've won 15 of their last 17 games. They came through big time against Utah Valley to win. They've won and covered 3 straight. They rolled through their conference tournament, covering each game, no doubt about it. They did beat Stanford this season. They were a top 100 team, but they lost 2 other games against top 100. They did go 10-4 in their non-conference games and played a top 275 schedule, so not going to worry too much about that. Grand Canyon can get to the foul line with the best of them in this tournament. They do. They are basically a top 10 team in drawing fouls, going to the line, and they also have a near top 25 field goal defense in the country. Now, the Terps, I don't want to say they rely on one man to get it done, but man, when Queen is out there and boy, for a big man, he really can move well. It's almost like, isn't he kind of, he's almost like, it's kind of like me. He's awkwardly smooth. Okay. I don't know if that's a good term or not, but man, he is fun to watch for sure. I don't know if his game transcends. I'm sure he has the body to play in the NBA, but Maryland's won 12 of their last 15 games coming in. They went 10-1 in non-conference play, but played one of the easiest non-conference schedules in the country. Basically a bottom 10% schedule. They did go 17-1 against teams outside of the top 50, like a Grand Canyon. They do have a top 30 field goal defense for sure, and they also are pretty strong at forcing turnovers, top 40% this season. Maryland's in the tournament for the 4th time in 6 years. The WAC, the last 5 years, the WAC is 5-0 against the spread in the first round. Meanwhile, the Big Ten, however, is pretty strong as well, 13-7 against the spread in the first round. So a little bit of a difference there, but Grand Canyon was an underdog just 3 times this season. They covered all 3 of those games. Maryland was 6-3-1 against the spread in their last 10. Let's go to the chat. Grand Canyon and Maryland. It's our last college game I'm previewing here on the schedule. So let's go to the chat. And we're going to start it off with Stony Mob. It says Maryland gets that cover. Art Thompson is on Maryland. NYC Bar on Maryland here. And Donut says Maryland can get far, but this might be the tricky one, I think is what the synopsis there of Silk's. Right. Does anybody have an iPhone with the Apple Intelligence and it reads like your text messages and then kind of forms its own words a little bit to try to tell you what's going on in your text messages? It's kind of what I feel like I just did there with Donut Silks' comment. Twisted, maybe leaning Grand Canyon, not sure. Maybe Donut says Maryland wins, does not cover. Thomas says Maryland here is the consensus play. Wow. Hello. All right. Well, sometimes I would default. Of course, you know how I work it. I don't want to go, but I have a premium play in this game on the total, and I like Grand Canyon. You guys here, I'm almost want to take an upset here. Maryland for Robert. Everybody's on Maryland, so that's okay. And Paul Bowman, nice to see you again. Thank you for coming in. And he says consensus has been against other shows as well. I think is what he's saying there about that Memphis Colorado State game. Terrell says 80 to 73. NYC Bar says Maryland was a consensus. All right. So I'm going to go again. I got to go against the consensus here. I'm a Havocs fan. Okay, that's it for college basketball, you guys. I know there's a lot of great games still on this schedule today. So enjoy. And again, join me at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I'll make a couple of more plays for sure over there today on the afternoon games. And then Mikey Money will be here at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Get you ready for the primetime action in the NCAA tournament. We don't have live coverage here on the channel scheduled for tonight. So if you do want more plays from me and Paul are going to be on the Havocs here. All right. And that's how you can get more plays from me there over at winnable.com. Like I said, I got 11 plays today in this one, in the tournament today. So hopefully that'll be pretty sufficient here. We're going to go to the NBA, and we got to get off the air here, man. We got women's basketball coming up as well. Should be a fun Friday. Oh, as we transition here to the NBA, let's also tell you they're on the course. They've been on the course. I've been watching it here. And how about it, you guys? Has anyone with me here in the golf? Let me get my golf. I know I have the leader right now. Get my golf plays here up. I am on the leader here right now with Shane Lowry has a 2-stroke lead here at this point. Hopefully you got my golf plays this week. If you're a free subscriber over at Winnable, I gave out 6 plays this week, including the leader right now at 18 to 1. I gave them out pre-flop with Shane Lowry currently leading the Valspar by 2 strokes. Here, I'm also seeing one of my other plays here, Sayeth Thigala, taking an approach shot here, and well, he's put it against the wall here. He's going to need relief because he's not going to be able to swing there. So he did start the day at 2 under here, but Lowry, 6 under par so far through 8 holes. He is on fire here today. Also want to shout out Kevin Balo having a good round today. Man, some of the young names here a little bit on this leaderboard. We've got kind of there's some top names here though for sure, including Victor Hovland on the leaderboard as well. Let's see who else is playing well today. David Lipsky's got a birdie so far through 6, and Bo Hostler 2 under today has moved to the red numbers here, and that looks like it for now, but they are underway at the Valspar. And also great tennis in Miami today with a big card of action, including we're going to see if Kyrgios can beat KK today and win another match. All right, let's go to the NBA right now, and I've got previews of all the 9 of the 10 games we're going to look at here, and we'll go rather quickly today. I know the focus is on college basketball, but we got to stay true to our, we follow this schedule all year long. We're not going to stop. Just get everything set up here for my NBA coverage, and appreciate you guys joining me here on the show. Right, Magic and Wizards here in this one. You got the Madge on the road here. They're up to 8.5 right now. And the total here is at 215.5. It's gone down just a touch with Orlando and Washington. There we go. For Orlando here, they've been alternating wins and losses over the last few games for sure. They lost to Houston last time out. They had covered 3 straight, but then ran into a Houston team there a couple of nights ago. For Washington here, they are coming off 2 consecutive losses on the road. They were on a long road trip, actually, and now returning home for their first game. They are 29-37 as underdogs this season. Is Washington. For the Magic here, they're 21-17 against the spread as a favorite. They've been pretty good, actually, as a favorite. They have defeated Washington in 8 straight games coming in. And like I said, they're doing a pretty good job on the road right now. This series has gone over in 10 straight games at Washington between these two teams. So this number's low because remember, Orlando goes low for the most part, right? They are 13-25 to the under as a favorite this season, talking about the Orlando Magic. Washington's just kind of a break-even team spread-wise, but Orlando has, like I said, they've been dominating this series, and they've also covered in 4 straight games between these two teams. Let's go to the chat here at this one. Orlando and Washington. Orlando's still, alive. They maybe have tailed off here of late, but we got to consider them. This almost missed the cut. There are 6 games under 500 right now. They've really got to it feels like do or die here right now for Orlando in some of these games here right now. Orlando currently inside the play-in window, and those other teams are pretty far back, so they're going to make it, but they're just kind of bouncing around. The 4 play-in teams, I mean, the standings are that 4 play-in teams are pretty much going to be the play-in teams, barring any drastic change in the standings. Atlanta, Orlando, Chicago, and Miami. All right, maybe here is Robert on the over here in this one. That's probably it from the chat. This is when you guys are so fired up, it feels like, about the college tournament. That's why I kind of going through these fast. We aren't getting a lot of contributions. It feels like, hey, I'm on Orlando here in this one. Now, maybe I was considering for a premium, but at 8.5, I'm still going to take Orlando here tonight. We went on Washington a fair amount, but all right, next up, we did skip the Philadelphia-San Antonio game, but might have a premium, but Hornets and Thunder here in this one. You got the Thunder. I think it's actually gone down a little bit, but they're still a massive favorite here right now, currently 19.5. This total has dropped big time for sure, 223 here between these two. For Oklahoma, I mean, you got teams basically with opposite records, man. I mean, you got Oklahoma City 57-12, Charlotte 18-51. So, but still, Charlotte's done a great job as an underdog, 34-24. Still, Oklahoma City, great spread team, and they're still no letting up. They're 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games coming into this one, and they're 40-23 against the spread as a favorite, 23-12 against the spread at home here. And well, Charlotte, let me cover this too real quick here, because we know that on the card last night, Charlotte did play the Knicks. We did have Charlotte in that game. Good winners last night. We had Brooklyn and Indiana on the show to go under. We had the Charlotte Hornets as a premium pick. You guys had the Chicago Bulls as a consensus play yesterday. I rode with you guys yesterday in that game against Sacramento. I had a premium pick winner on Toronto over Golden State. We saw Steph Curry leave that game. He probably will miss a game there. He's got a pelvic bruise, fell to the ground in that game and had to leave the game. We did give out the over in the Toronto Golden State game yesterday, and we had also a show winner with Milwaukee and the Lakers. Told you exactly what was going to happen with the personnel in that game, right? So for all those people that, hey, we got to wait for the lineups, I respect that, but we almost dictated what was going to happen with those and said take the under in that game, and it looked like it was going to be a sure thing for Milwaukee as a favorite, right? Not only were they a 3.5-point favorite when we were on the show in the morning, they went up to an 8-point favorite in that game. Shout out Bronny James. We saw he had an incredible game, 17 points, career high, putting the doubters for the moment to rest. It looks like we do have an NBA player on our hands. I think it was hard to ignore the contributions that Bronny James made last night. The man is 20 years old. So let's just remember that too. A lot of these college players are coming in, 22, 23 years old. And Bronny, rushed to the situation so he could play with his dad in case he can't play anymore after this season or two. I think the Lakers will be okay with with having Bronny James on this team. If Bron retires in the next year or two, he may be able to hang in the NBA. He looked terrific, actually, in the game with the floater. It looked real good, right? Problems defensively for sure that may be able to be worked on. Okay. Anyways, the Hornets and the Thunder here, like I said, big contrast here between the two, and spread-wise too, a little bit. We know the Thunder pretty terrific. Let's go to the chat here a little bit. Charlotte, a big-time under teams. We know that. 20-41 to the under as a dog. Oklahoma City's an over team, but I think you got to kind of look at the Hornets a little bit. Oklahoma City and the Thunder have gone over in 4 straight meetings at Oklahoma City, although they meet just twice a year. Charlotte's actually covered the spread in 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two, but Hornets on the back-to-back. Let's go to the chat here. And this one's a little bit awkward for sure, but thought we'd include it. Here we go. I think, did I miss some? Oh, no, you guys are on talking about the Bulls there a little bit. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you. Talking Bulls here. Let's see here. Cash Cane, Thunder, and under. Robert is on the under. And Irish King says OKC first half. Abel says he will. Right. And the thing about Bronny James, I'm gonna be a defender of this guy a little bit right now. And I think it comes with, we make fun of Bron for, he's a little bit loose on social media. Look, I don't want to say Bronny, LeBron Sr., gets a little loose on social media, whatever. Bronny James is mature for a 20-year-old is what it really feels like, and I think that comes from being in the pressure cooker of being under his dad, and really composed. Listening to him talk is absolutely pretty pretty incredible, actually. All right, Abel's on the under here in this one, and I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to go with the under here. Of course, I know a 20-point spread. Hey, what do you think about a 20-point spread? I've got a premium, I'm pretty sure, on this game on that spread. Which team will it be? Will it be the Hornets plus 20 or 19.5, or will it be the Thunder? I'm going to take the under because this thing has dropped so much. I'm not going to use that as a premium, but boy, it probably is going to be an under. All right, Abel's got it right, I think. But I have a premium, I'm pretty sure, on this game, barring unforeseen circumstances, believe it or not. All right, let's
Steam play.
Continue on here right now, and we do have here, let's see, next up, the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. In this one, another big spread, 14 points. Timberwolves favored. Total 226.5. This one's another dropper here. The widely reported Steam did come in on the under, and it's dropped 3 points here right now with the Pelicans and the Timberwolves down to 226.5 in this one. Minnesota's lost 2 straight coming in to this one. Losses to New Orleans and to Indiana. They just played 2 nights ago, 119, 115 in that game. It was the Pelicans beating the Timberwolves in an upset. They were 13-point dogs in that game, but the Pelicans got a much needed victory for sure. The Pelicans are just 10-25 against the spread on the road, but they're up against one of the worst home teams against the spread, 13-22 for Minnesota. They're also 21-32 against the spread as a favorite. So we know that they've struggled. Maybe they're overrated. I don't know. It doesn't feel like Minnesota's overrated, but they've struggled against the spread, no doubt about it for sure. This season, New Orleans has gone over in 8 of their last 9 games on the road as an underdog. Even if they do lose most of these games for sure. I mean, they're only 19-51 this season, but Minnesota has gone. Remember, we just talked about this, right? Minnesota has gone 1-12 in their last 13 games against the spread as a favorite when coming off of a home loss. So, maybe you'd think they'd be a little bit fired up. We just talked about that situation in that game against New Orleans, and that put us on New Orleans, of course. And can they do it again, or will Minnesota exact the revenge and get a blowout victory here? Let's go to the chat and see what will override. Look, maybe normally I might do it, but Minnesota has such a bad spread record, and the Pelicans have showed some interesting they've been covering a few games despite not on the road, of course, but they did last game. Let's go to the chat here. I don't know. Felt like I went frozen there, like I was Mitch McConnell. All right. See what we got here. Great point, Jim Casey there. I'm glad that Jim sees it the way I do as well. I think it's easy for people to say, easy to criticize, right? I know I got into it with my man Nunya on the air one time defending Bronny James. It's easy to talk about the China story with him and all that, but again, this is a man who has dedicated a lot of his wealth to causes and things like that. I'm still a fan of this guy. I don't care. He kind of goes off on some tangents here. Okay, here we go. Robert's on the over. Cash Kane, Pelicans. Abel, Pelicans, and over. Our Tom's Pelicans over here. So got some Pelicans, got some over here in this one. Like I said, the widely reported Steam did come in on the under, but I don't know. When I think of these two teams are combined 78-62 to the over, and both teams kind of go over in these rolls. New Orleans 31-22 to the over here. So I'm going to try New Orleans here as my free play, though, and I'm going to think they can do it again and hang in there. They're still here. They were played the last game in Minnesota. They've waited here took the night off, or back here again to take them on. And maybe that, but it's not a back-to-back or anything. I'm going to try New Orleans plus the points. Okay, we do have some college basketball steam that just came in, so I think we're going to report this one for sure. Baylor and Mississippi State. We talked about this one here, obviously. with Baylor and Mississippi State, and then we're having some steam here to the over here in this one between Baylor and Mississippi State. It was 144 and a half. We're up to 145 and a half, maybe even 146 here. Steam to the over. Mississippi State got steamed earlier this week, and now the over getting steamed here right now. In this, in this game, early game, first up, we're just an hour and 15 minutes away. Right now, 145 and a half at Bet Online, 145 and a half at Circa, but I think we're going to be moving up just a tad bit higher. I do have a premium pick on the total in this game if you want to check it out. You might want to check it out sooner rather than later, if you know what I mean, as that total is being steamed to the over. All right, back to the NBA here right now. Thank you for joining me. We're getting there. We're almost done, and we're going to watch some college basketball. Rockets and Heat. Rockets favored by 5.5 here in this one. The total, 213.5 here. No, it's gone up a little bit to 215 with the Rockets and the Heat. Rockets on the road, favored here by 5.5. Maybe it's 214.5 at some spots, but you have one team on a winning streak, one team on a losing streak, and I've lost some money on these Miami Heat. But you know what? They did win last game right when I went against them. This team, usually one of my bread and butter teams here, the Miami Heat, but I've lost money on this team over the past couple of weeks for sure. I'm a Spoelstra guy, so I always trust him to come around. But Houston's been a great cover here of late. They're on a bit of a roll here, a winning streak, no doubt. Now, they're not covering every game, but they're on a pretty good roll. Here are the Houston Rockets here right now coming into this one. Houston, 5 straight wins, I believe, here right now, and they've gone over in 4 of their last 5. Miami's won the last 5 meetings between the two teams here at home, and they've also won the last 5 meetings overall. They also won some of the road games here. So Miami's had Houston's number for the most part here, but they've been playing so poorly here of late. Miami just 29 and 39 against the spread overall here, and Houston, a terrific spread team, 20 and 13 against the spread on the road, 27 and 22 against the spread as a favorite. They met back in December. It was 104-100 in favor of Miami here at Houston. So let's go to the chat with these two, Houston and Miami, here in this one for the Heat. It's a 9-game losing streak right now. Houston's gone over in 4 straight games coming in. They're 20 and 14 to the over on the road. The Heat are 20 and 13 to the over at home. Art Thompson's on the Rockets. Cash Kane is on the Rockets minus points. Abel's on the Rockets. And Thomas says when they show up, they can put them away, but maybe there's a little bit of inconsistency there. Robert likes the under here. And Thomas says he's got the Houston Rockets here as a consensus play with us so far. You had Art Thompson, you had Cash Kane, you had Abel. So a pretty good deal there, it feels like, with the Houston Rockets here in this one. And well, I'll ride with team consensus. How about that? I think I'm going to be on the total as a premium play. So I had Houston marked here as my morning steam play. Like I said, I kind of, I just can't get off Miami. So I'll take Houston. You guys convince me to make sure I don't make the same mistake again. Give me the Rockets here. I'll lay the points on the road. Even Spoelstra did show some frustration out there for sure. Okay, here we go. Pistons and Mavs. In this one, you got the Pistons, a 9.5 point favorite here. Dallas has lost 4 straight coming in. Houston with a couple of wins in a row right now over Miami and New Orleans. They didn't cover in that game against the Heat that we talked about, and that was a funny thing. That's when I switched for Dallas here. They've lost 4 in a row, but they did cover last time out against Indiana in that wild 135-131 game we had. The Mavs in that game, but Dallas is just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. Detroit 22-12 against the spread on the road. Detroit usually will win these games against these sub 500 teams. They've been so hot this season, doing such a great job right now for Detroit. Unbelievable. They're 8 games over 500. They hit that bank shot to win that game, of course, by Cade Cunningham in the win there against Miami. From straight away, Dallas has gone over in 6 straight games. They've gone over in 8 of their last 10 overall, and they're 26-15 to the over as an underdog. Although Dallas at home 15-20 to the under at home. Dallas has failed to cover in 6 straight here at home right now. So let's go to the chat here in this one, Detroit and Dallas, and see what you have between these two. Detroit's covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two teams. They've also gone 8-2 their last 10 games straight up on the road. Dallas has gone over in 5 straight. And Dallas has won 5 of the last 6 meetings here at home against Detroit. But this is a much improved or finally improved Detroit team. And here is Stony Mob. Oh, he liked the Heat back in that other game. Sorry, Stony. Here's Stony liking the Pistons spread. Here's Cash Kane liking the Mavs. Irish King. Detroit first quarter. And our Tom says, I like the Mavs. And, our daughter's going to go to this one. Enjoy the game. Robert's on the over here. Irish King there on the over. And Irish King, Minnesota first quarter. All right, well, I better make my call here in this one. I kind of like both sides in total. I don't know if I even like one better than the other. Here's Abel. He likes the over. I like both pretty strong. Here, let me look at the late market action and see if this will change my mind here at all. The widely reported steam did come in on the under. What do I have it at? Oh, yeah, that's a wrong line here for sure, right? It's 232.5. Let me update that. And it's up to 9.5 for Detroit. And 232.5. So, Big Dipper. Big Dipper. All right. And for me, I'm gonna take the Dallas Mavericks here, plus the points here as my play on the morning steam show. I'll try Dallas here. They're the ones that have been struggling against the number, no doubt. But at 9.5 now, I'm gonna side with Dallas. Okay, hard to argue a little bit there. Hey, we're getting some breaking news here right now, and look, we're on the New Orleans Pelicans here, and we're not going over the injuries too heavy today, but Zion Williamson is out tonight here, just announced for New Orleans. That's going to take the spread up a little bit. Like I said, I'm a situational handicapper. I don't think that's going to take me off the game here as a free play with New Orleans. We know Zion, look, great player. I don't know what the spread is with or without Zion. Maybe I got to go over to that website that can tell me what it is or whatnot, but I'll still roll with New Orleans there in that game. Just want to announce it. Zion Williams with that back problem right now. If you know what I mean. Is he out? Or is he just laid, or is he asleep in the wrong position? He's out tonight in the game against the Timberwolves, and the line is moved. It is adjusted here quickly to 15.5 now, and the total's dropped a point to 225.5. So a little bit of a move here on Minnesota with that information coming in right now with Zion. The Zion train is not coming our way. All right. There we go with that one. Let's go to the next one with Boston Celtics here on the road, taking on the Jazz. Here in this one, the Celtics are a 13.5-point favorite. The total 228.5 here in this one. So a little bit of a move here on the Celtics here this morning. And definitely a move here to the over here slightly. The widely reported steam came in on Boston, and it came in on the over in this one.
Critical notice.
Oh, there's that Zion news. I always beat the, when I watch the tweet deck over here and I see Zion's out, and then the line service, you're a little slow over here. Even I'm breaking the news here to my chat before. Well, I mean, I saw it on Twitter, or X Twitter. That's what I like to call it now, X Twitter, because that's kind of what it was, right? It's now called X. It was called Twitter. It's X Twitter. Maybe I can get everyone to call it that. Even Elon can sometimes forgets, All right, let's go here, Boston and Utah. Let's go quickly, man. Let's go. We got women's basketball here in 15 minutes. I might have to give out a play here. In that game. So I got my numbers here, figured I haven't even matched them up against the spread here too much. I had to work last night on my women's card there a little bit on my computer there. Okay, Celtics and Jazz here in this one. Look, big contrast here, of course, but Boston's won 3 straight. Utah's coming in off of a win over Washington. They clubbed them to stop a 4-game losing streak. Boston has won 3 straight, including a pair of wins against Brooklyn in a home-and-home, although they did not cover the spread in those games. Boston continues to be so predictable. We know that. But Utah has covered the spread in 6 straight home games, coming in off of a win. They usually play pretty well in that role. Utah's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games overall. They're 37-29 to the over as a dog this season, but Boston is 12-21 to the under on the road. See what you got in this one. We're kind of going quickly here. It feels like Boston's 10-1, last 11 games on the road, 8-1 again, straight up in their last 9 overall. 18 of the last 25 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Let's go to the chat though and see what you have here. Well, these aren't the best matchups, but
System play.
We're covering them. All right. And I'm going to the chat, see what you got. Widely reported steam came in on Boston, I said. Here we go. Celtic cash gain, Celtic spread, and KP3s. We know Nate is down there in Dallas today, or in San Antonio today, so I guess we're not seeing him here in the chat today, but Robert here is on Utah. Cash Kane is on the under here in this one with Boston and Utah. I'm going to have a premium on this game there, Cash Kane, if you know what I mean. In this one, but all right, let's get it done here. I'm going to take the Boston Celtics. Look, I don't roll with this team too often as a big favorite on the road. I mean, look, we know they're not terrific as favorites necessarily, and especially as big favorites, but I'm going to try them here in this one. They did win the first meeting 114-108 at home as a 15.5-point favorite, but I'm going to try Boston here. Believe it or not. And Stoney on the Celtics. Good morning to AOD. And Abel liking the under here as well. A lot of unders there, a couple of unders there anyway. All right, here we go. Cavs and Suns. In this one, the Cavs, we've said it here on all these games so far. This 3-game losing streak for the Cavs, a season high, I believe. here. Maybe it ties the season high, but they've lost and failed 3 straight games here on the West Coast. Well, they lost at home to Orlando, then lost 2 straight here. The Clippers, Sacramento. Now they're playing Phoenix. They're just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. They're a terrific spread team on the road as a favorite. We know that. Phoenix, terrible at home, terrible as a favorite ATS wise. So, is this a spot though where Phoenix can kind of take advantage of this Cavaliers team? We saw this coming, right? Because the Cavaliers kind of played a home heavy schedule and maybe their softer portion of the schedule. We know Phoenix hasn't been great. We know that they're struggling along here, straight up 33-37 overall, but they have played a bit better again of late. They're streaky for sure, but now with wins in 2 in a row and 2 covers here, and you got Cleveland kind of having some doldrums, it feels like. Remember, they're clearly locked into the number 1 seed. I don't see any chance of the Boston Celtics, as great as they are going to be making up 6 games here against the Cleveland Cavaliers down the stretch. So maybe a little bit of complacency on a road trip here to the West Coast. So we'll see if that is the case. But let's go to the chat a little bit here. The favorite always wins when these 2 teams meet. Phoenix has covered 4 straight at home right now, and that's pretty good for a team that has really been stinking it up as a spread team at home. Also, Phoenix has gone under in 5 of their last 6 games overall. They're 13-21 to the under at home, but Cleveland, big time over team. Phoenix has covered 5 of their last 6 at home as well, including the streak that they're on. So let's see what you have here. R. Thompson's on the Cavs. Robert's on the Suns. Abel says, give me the Suns in the first half. All right. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here in this one, so the current line is actually way lower than this. Let me fix that. Way lower, you guys. This thing, like I said, it was 240. I'm not kidding, but it's 234 right now in this one. Cleveland is up to 8, and this total has dropped 6 points to 234. Whoops. So let's see here. I'm gonna probably have to look at the market action here a little bit in this game because of that. Sometimes I don't get a chance to look at it while we're on the air. So take one quick look at it here, and then might have to flop the premium here a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to still go under in this one. Give me the under as my play here on the morning steam show. Lost 6 points to it. It was probably going to be a premium, but can't do it now. But I think it still goes under here. That's obviously a big, big sign with that move to the under. Not getting the best of it at all, but I think it's pretty clear that it might be an under. All right. The Nuggets are taking on the Trailblazers here in this one. You've got the Trailblazers on a 3-game winning streak. They're favored here by 2, total 227. It's gone up a little bit. There was some widely reported steam on the over here in this one from 225 up to 227. With these 2, you've got a Denver team that just lost, remember, to the Lakers last time out after beating Golden State on the road. Portland, meanwhile, is on a 3-game winning streak, including covers over Memphis and Washington. The Blazers are 21-14 against the spread at home. Denver just 2-8 in their last 10 games. ATS, and we do have, obviously big news. We don't have to, look at the line to see what's going on here in this one. We're going to have, injury concerns for the Nuggets here. Nikola Jokic, I believe he's officially out. Let me just check it out, though, here real quick. On the injury report right now, out of this game, it looks like for sure tonight, right? With the line here at 2, and 226 and or 227 or so in this one. He's out with that ankle with that ankle turn here right now. Murray also questionable in this one. Jeremy Grant doubtful for the Blazers. Walker is out. Williams is out as well for Portland. So, how do the Nuggets fare without Jokic here tonight? Denver's uh, uh, a dog here, which you don't see too often against this team right now. But they've struggled against the number here for sure. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. The widely reported steam is coming in on the over. It's gone from 224 to 227. Portland is, let's see here. We have a couple more tidbits on this one. We'll go to the chat, though, right now. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over, and 5 straight meetings between the teams here in Portland have gone over as well. Although Portland 3-6-1, 3-6-1 to the under in their last 10. Denver's 12-7 to the over as an underdog this season. The chat comes in. They've got the Blazers. And our Tomps is on the Nuggets here in this one. All right. Yeah, no chance that Jokic makes this lineup. You don't have to sweat it or anything like that, it feels like here. So this one's continued to move higher here today. And I think for me, that's going to be the determining factor here in this one. So let me make sure, though, here real quick. And yeah, I'm going to be taking the over here in this one. It's gone up from 224 to 227. Give me the over with Denver and Portland tonight. All right, let's see here. Abel's on the Blazers. Last game up. We've got the Grizzlies and the Clippers here in this one. The Clippers are favored by 7.5. And the total here is 232. No movement really in this one, although the Clippers did take some steam here. They might be down to 6.5 here at some spots. In fact, I don't think there is any 7.5s out there. So let me at least make it 7 here. I think 232 is pretty okay here in this one with the Grizzlies and the Clippers. The Clippers maybe finding their stride a little bit. 4 straight wins for the Clippers coming into this one, and covers against Cleveland, Charlotte, Atlanta, and Miami. Clippers looking pretty good. Memphis, meanwhile, some people are starting to kick Memphis to the curb a little bit, but they're still 43-27 here. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They've failed in 4 of their last 5. No Morant here tonight, but look, he's been up and down all season with these. Only played in 43 games. Brandon Clark is out as well for Memphis tonight. Clippers 24-10 against the spread at home. Memphis just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games coming into this one. Clippers have won 7 straight games at home. Memphis has failed to cover now in 6 straight games as a dog. So let's see what you got here. Memphis also has gone over in 10 straight games as an underdog. These two teams met back on February the 12th. It was 128-114. The Clippers rocked at home and covered. They also won on the road back in December, 114-110 as a 6-point dog. So Clippers did the number against the Memphis Grizzlies. They've also beaten Memphis in 5 straight games overall. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Let's go to the chat. And we've got our Tomps on the Clippers. Robert is on the Clippers and over. And Abel says, I got a West Coast parlay here, it looks like, with the Clippers and the Oregon Ducks. Cash Cane's on the under. Thanks for doing a great job, you guys, and not leaving me hanging here a little bit in the chat for the NBA. I know that hockey was getting a little long, little long there yesterday for sure. I'm going with. Let me make sure of this one now. Yeah, I don't want to use I don't want to give out the wrong premium here. It feels like. All right. Yeah, I'm going to try Memphis here as a dog. I know that there's some trends that aren't going to fit this mode, and I think if you looked at the trends overall, you'd probably end up on the Clippers. And the widely reported steam came in on the Clippers. Usually, that's a recipe for Ramon, isn't it? But I'm going to try the Memphis Grizzlies. I think I've got a premium on this one on the total, so I'm going to go with Memphis here to find a way to hang in there without Ja. I think that'll be okay. Okay, that's it for basketball. Let's go. One game on the ice, and the show's going to be over. We're going to do some women. We're going to do some women's picks here for sure. Maybe a few early games here, and then I'll have a package of free plays of women's games out there. Maybe a handful here for sure. The men's games are behind the paywall, if you want to look at it that way. Blue Jackets and Penguins, our only game on the ice tonight with Tarasov and Nicholas Yari here in this one. So
Play.
see what you got in the hockey game tonight with Blue Jackets and Penguins. Is a huge hockey card tomorrow. We'll probably preview most of them because we're going to be down to 8 basketball games in college. And we'll preview them all tomorrow. We're not gonna leave any off the table there. For Tristan Yari here, 12-9 of 3.13. What I call him, Nick Yari, 3.13 goals against. Elvis, 20-18, 3.04 goals against. The expected goalies here, or I've actually got Tarasov as the expected goalie. Let me see if the sites are kind of back and forth, but I don't think it might be Tarasov here is what I'm kind of thinking here tonight. Got to move right now, college basketball, real quick. I can't even get to a hockey game. Here's a move in college basketball. Maryland and Grand Canyon. The steam is coming in on the under in this game. If you are on my premiums, you might want to go to it right now and see what's going on. If you know what I mean, this one's gone from 140 to 150 to 149 or lower here right now with Maryland and Grand Canyon. Today we're seeing 149 and a half for the most part at some of the sites, but okay, let's just quickly cover this one, though, with the Blue Jackets. Also, Steam Play right now. They're clicking in just in time here at the end of the show. Liberty and Oregon in a later matchup here. Oregon and Liberty, the steam is coming in on the under here in this one. It was as high as 141.5. It was recently as down to about 139.5, but right now it's going to 138.5 or lower. Oregon and Liberty steam to the under coming in right now. All right, Blue Jackets here. Let's want to just get to the drawing here and get to some women's ball here. Let me see here real quick. Let me crunch my numbers here. The game's about to tip off in 1 minute. In this matchup between Michigan and Iowa State. Let me get this pick to you. I like the Michigan Wolverines. They were a 3-point favorite, maybe even 2.5. They are up to 4.5 in the matchup with Iowa State. Maybe the money line might be. I don't mention many money lines here. If anything in the NCAA tournament, privately, if I don't give out a pick, I may be on money lines with favorites, particularly maybe in women's ball where I don't know as much. I watch probably a lot of women's ball compared to most people, but again, it's a little bit trickier for me. I'm not hardcore, but hardcore compared to most. And I'll take Michigan here in this one against Iowa State. I know we're talking about hockey, but that game's tipping off right now in the NCAA tournament on ESPN2. So get ready for some basketball there with Iowa State and Michigan. Sounds like a pretty good game.
Steam Play.
All right. Let me try to get this pick off here. Columbus struggling, obviously, right now. We've made a lot of money with Columbus. We've given some back, it feels like, here of late with a little bit of a slumpy slump for Columbus here, but I don't know. I feel like in this one, I might try them here. It feels like in the matchup here tonight with Pittsburgh, and also I think I'm going to be on the total here. In fact, I'm going to take the total here as my play here on the morning steam. Give me the under in this one. The widely reported steam has come in on the under. It's not 6.5. That's for sure. It's mostly sixes out there, but heavily juiced to the over. DraftKings is 6.5 under 20, so maybe I can leave that up there. I think this is a good price. Did I just blow it here with the side? And well, again, I'm not going to have a premium on this game. If you want my pick on the side, join me over there at the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I think I'm going to use some content there, if you will. I'm tired of losing with, or at least publicly lose, or I don't know, betting on this team so heavily, these Blue Jackets, but I don't know. I'm probably going to be on them. Anyways, give me the under as my play. The show is over. Let's see here what you guys had. And we've got Cash Kane Jackets in the over. Robert's on Columbus. Chase says, am I in San Antonio? Nah, they don't let me out. They don't let me out of the satellite studios here. It's dangerous for me to go out in public. Jim, they're gonna tomorrow. There's basically 50. I think there's 15 games tomorrow. So Saturday hockey night tomorrow. So you got to have some rest here, I guess, for all these teams. Abel's on the under here, at least with me. All right. It's going to do it for the show. We're going to do the drawing here right now. We had lots of great comments today, so I'm sure we'll have a great drawing. Folks, if you want to get my top NCAA plays that go off starting at the top of the hour, head on over to winnable.com/Ramon and get, whoops, I got the wrong graphic. There we go. Winnable.com/Ramon and get my plays for today. I've got 11 plays in the college basketball tournament. Why wouldn't you get these plays from me for just $4 today? Just $3 for the college plays, $8 a week if you want all my plays. Like I said, get the $8 per week. It's basically $1.11 a day. If you get a week, I'll put on 10 days. If you get a month, I'll put on an extra week. This is how you support me here on the channel. It's not, it's not easy. I get up every morning about 2 or 3 every morning and prep the show a little bit, make my picks, enter in the picks and stuff like that. So why not support me, you guys? Keep me coming back here to the Sports Money Network. I love these guys over here. I made the decision to come over here. Yes, I am appearing back on that other channel. Really appreciate the opportunity to be back over there with those guys. It wasn't any hard feelings. I just wanted to join a team like Sports Money. And it was okay for them to have me over there at the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. So pick over there. I'm looking at our Tom like, here's Big O, thank you. And our Tom, I don't know what this means, but hey, hit me up on those apps, ladies. Thanks, Art Toms. Maybe I'll find I've joked about it and people have made fun of me about it. And this is a true story, but my dad was 61 when I was born and my mom was 21. So you tell me what was going on. Okay. There's still hope for Ramon at 56 years old. Anyways, let's go to the drawing here. Enough of the jokes. Not a joke. It's a true story, but let's go to the drawing, and I want to see who wins today with our 5-teamer. Is that what we have, Thomas? Let me bring it up here. Oh man, I've lost the seem to have lost the oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. found it. There's 42 people who made comments today. Let's go to it. And oops, there we go. Let's do the drawing. Thanks, everybody. Let's look at the teams, too. Thank you, Thomas, for everything today. And Textiles, hi, Tex. Yeah, he said, how about that? All right. Art Thompson. I thought Art Thompson was trying to find me a date out there. Tex, right? There you go. I got a chance yet, Tex. Yeah, and how did I, how did Kiandra, what are you doing here so late? Oh man, Kiandra, nice to see you today. Irish King went with Clippers first half. I think that's it. Let's do the drawing. And yeah, how when you're Ramon Scott and you've got Mexican blood in you, you've got Irish blood in you. I'm Norwegian on my mom's side, and then uh, like I said, my family and friends call me Moni, so you could do that too. But I'm always Ramon here. Okay, let's do the drawing. Here we go. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Kiadra, Twisted, Joe, Aubrey, Cash Kane, Sharpie, Joe, Robert, Oldie, Blue, Subhuman, and AOD has won again. AOD, thank you. Hopefully you're still out there. If not, you can win today the consensus parlay. There, where is the teams here? Thomas got them. There it is. Mississippi State, Memphis, St. Mary's, Maryland, and Houston. Thanks for a great show, everybody. That was last two. I think probably the quality of the tournaments made it a better show. These last two shows, I'm hard on myself. Sometimes I'm like, God, that was terrible. I'm, I'm, it's you get up in the morning and I've got, the morning in my throat. I'm hacking it up. I'm, tired or what. I thought the last 2 days were pretty good shows. So send these one into the ME committee for the YouTubies. Okay. Good luck to Johnny. Good luck to everybody. Thank you for joining me, everybody, on the show. Enjoy the Oh, well, you want how about I can't. I've got to get my plays here in women's college basketball, you guys. Come on, right now. Okay. We just gave out the Michigan Wolverines. I've got a few more plays here. We saw, I apologize.
Steam playing.
Whoever gave me the Indiana play there. Oh, here we go. One more steam move, you guys. Let me get this off the screen. With all due respect to AOD. We got a few more notes here real quick to get on the report. And then we'll be done. You're welcome to leave here, but I've got some more information. North Carolina and Ole Miss. We're seeing some steam here right now in the North Carolina Ole Miss game to the over. I'm not sure I'm down with that, but steam to the over here right now in that game. It's going to go up to, it was 155, 156, now 157. Ole Miss and North Carolina taking that steam to the over. All right, here's a few plays here in some other games right now in women's college basketball tournament action for today. Here we go. This one will be at 1 Eastern or 2 Eastern and 11, or no, I'm sorry. Let me get this right. Top of the hour here, Liberty and Kentucky. I've got this one to go under here with Liberty and Kentucky. It's 137 right now. I've got the under as my play in Liberty and Kentucky. We're not breaking these down, you guys. I'm going off a lot of my numbers, line movements, and a little bit of eye test here with the women's basketball. I watch, on the ESPN Plus app. You just move to the next game. Sometimes I go to women's games, especially when it's the SEC. I will say this also: I have 2 bets in women's basketball to win the national championship. I've got USC and I've got USC, meaning Southern Cal and South Carolina. That's pretty chalky, but that's what I'm on. Also, steam here coming in right now in the game between Houston and Miami. Steam to the under here. It was 215. Like I said, remember I said, well, it's 213.5. And I said, oh, it went up. And, maybe I was thinking that was the right move. But right now the steam's coming back in on the under. We're going to go back down to 214 here with Houston and Miami. All right, a couple more here real quick in the women's game. Here I have Notre Dame here also at This one's at 2 Eastern and 11 Pacific. I've got Notre Dame minus 33 in their matchup against Stephen F. Austin. I've got Notre Dame minus 33 against Stephen F. Austin. Also, I've got Kansas State minus 18. Kansas State minus 18 in their matchup today with Fairfield. So I've got Kansas State there, big favorite, minus 18 over Fairfield. Let's see here. Going down the list here real quick, and then I'll get you out of here. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here today. And TCU and Fairleigh Dickinson here. I've got the under in this one at 129.5. That one's gone down quite a bit, but I'm still going to go with it here between Fairfield and TCU. I've got the under here in that one. And that might be it for right now. Let me get you one more here. Where's it at? So I was talking South Carolina, but I'm taking Tennessee Tech plus 42 points against South Carolina. All right, so I think that should be pretty fun and get you guys some action there in the women's tournament. Actually, don't forget, subscribe to the free picks, and I will have more women's plays actually for the late card over there today for the nighttime action. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Oh, what do we got? Big O here says take Nebraska over Louisville here. I'll write that down. I'll tell you what, Big O, I'll do you one better. Let's do a two-teamer. I'm going to write it down, Big O on the Huskers here, and I am going to actually give out the total. I was going to send it out on the service, but let's do it right here. I've got the over in that one between Nebraska and Louisville. So let's see if Big O and I can team up here. I've got the over 146 in that game between Nebraska and Louisville. That's it. That's the morning steam. Thank you, everybody. And we'll catch you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. We'll go over all the tournament games there for the action. And we'll also go over the big NHL card, NBA. And don't forget also UFC coming up on Saturday. The coverage resumes here at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time with UFC London. And we have previews up and ready right now. We have First Strike. Join the guys and look at the video under the videos tab. We got Jim, we got Sub, we've got Jeff, we've got Mike with their 4 best plays. And also join me with VB MMA picks. This week we had Lucrative James as our guest for UFC London. So you can get previews of many fights here with our coverage here this weekend. And a little something special on Saturday. If you saw the show last night, I don't know how we're quite going to work it out yet, but our fighter is in action in the LFA here this weekend. They told me that they're came on the and I'm sorry I got the date wrong. What happened to the date there? Did I never even change it, you guys, and nobody said anything? And we went through the whole show. Boy, that's going to cost us some views here if they just go on there and they see Thursday. So tomorrow night, Kevin Carrier is going to fight that same man that backed out of the last fight when he was sick, and we sent Jeff and Mike on location there with their sponsored fighter, Kevin Carrier. Interesting to note, remember how we almost joked about it. Man, this guy's a $7, $8, $9 favorite over this guy. No wonder he doesn't want to fight. Well, now he wants to fight at Foxwoods, and Kevin Carrier's odds have dropped dramatically. The other guy getting a little bit of attention here. The odds have changed. Now, granted, Kevin Carrier was kind of fighting at his kind of home octagon, home ring, if you will, but now he's down to minus 300, 325 or so against Kyle Poofall. Hopefully our man stuffs this guy, but still a big discount on the price compared to what he was at the last fight a couple weeks ago when they were scheduled to fight. So we'll see. They've moved it to Foxwoods. Before it was in Niagara Falls, closer, I believe, to Carrier's home. So maybe the odds switch, the guys told me, was more so due to the locale change and not that Carrier's undergone any problem or this guy all of a sudden is in position to win or whatever. So we're going to find a way to kind of cover that fight. It's going to be a long day on Saturday, and that fight's probably not going to go off till 10:30 Eastern time. But we do want to keep tabs on our guy, Kevin Carrier. So, all right, you guys, thanks a lot for joining us here on the Morning Steam. We'll catch you tomorrow with more Morning Steam. Again, join me at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. And Mikey Money will be back here on the Sports Money Network at 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific. For the Sports
window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the